Hello guys, welcome to today's lesson. My name is Srinidhi. I'm an educator on Unacademy. I teach English grammar on this platform. You guys can follow me on Unacademy by downloading the Unacademy Learning app on your phone and kindly check out the YouTube channel as well. So in today's lesson, we're going to continue the summary that we've been doing since lesson 2. So I promise there is only one more lesson on summary. So let's get started.
So we left off the previous lesson where Elizabeth visits Charlotte, and she happens to meet Mr. Darcy's aunt, Lady Catherine, and at the same time Mr. Darcy is also visiting his aunt, and he uses Elizabeth and he uses this reason to visit his aunt more in order to see Elizabeth. And then when he proposes to Elizabeth, Elizabeth refuses and accuses him for the distance between Jane and Charles, and also for cheating Wickham. So he does not say anything, he leaves the place and he delivers her a letter shortly. So what he's written in the letter we will see in this lesson. So in that letter he admits that he was the reason why Charles distanced himself from Jane, because he thought that the relationship between Jane and Charles Bingley was not very serious. So he thought it was not serious, and he actually urged Mr. Bingley to distance himself from Jane, and Mr. Bingley also agreed to do so. And then what happens, he says, as far as Wickham is concerned, he accuses Wickham to be a liar, because the actual reason for the conflict between the two of them was that Wickham tried to elope with Mr. Darcy's sister. So he accuses Wickham to be a man, not a gentleman, and eloping with his sister means to run away with his sister. So eloping with somebody back in those days was considered to be a hurt to your family's pride. You're actually bringing down your family's respect. Just like how the Indian society is today, the same thing was happening in the society of England back then. So if you're writing a summary about this, you can actually put your thoughts into comparing the two societies as well. So and then after after Elizabeth reads the letter, she feels really sorry and she re-evaluates her feelings for Mr. Darcy. So she actually feels bad for judging him, for being prejudiced, and for believing Wickham, who is a liar. And when she returns back to Netherfield, she acts very rudely or coldly with Wickham, because she knows what is the true character of Wickham. And then in the meantime, the militia leaves town, and the younger Bennet, that is Lydia, is left heartbroken, because she actually likes Wickham. So she spent a lot of time in building friendship with all the young soldiers there. So she is more like her mother, whose only goal in life is to get married. So she's really sad when the militia leaves town. And like I said, militia is a troop of people, army people, who keeps going from town to town. So it's time for them to leave Netherfield Park, and the younger Bennet is all sad because of it. So what she does is, she manages to obtain permission from her dad to spend the summer with an old colonel in Brington, where Wickham's unit will be stationed. So she did not tell directly that she wants to stay with Wickham. So she obtains permission, telling that she wants to spend the summer with an old colonel. So the father and mother, so Mr. Bennet and Mrs. Bennet, agree to it, because they're under the impression that the old colonel will take care of their daughter. And she manages to leave, and she goes to Brington, where the army is stationed. So in June again Elizabeth travels, but this time she travels with gardeners, and she goes to the north. So, and they take her to Pemberley. So Pemberley is Darcy's estate. So it's like fate plays a lot of, fate plays a crucial role in this story, according to Jane Austen. So every time it is by coincidence that Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy meet. So this time she's hoping that she doesn't meet Darcy. After having considered that he won't be there, she arrives at Pemberley. So unfortunately, Darcy arrives, but before the arrival of Darcy, when she talks to the servants of Darcy, she hears that he's a very kind and generous man. So this again makes her think. I'm sorry. So she is actually torn between two paths, where she actually thought Darcy was a very arrogant man, whereas by hearing his servants, she realizes that he's actually a kind person. So what happens is Darcy arrives shortly and he acts very normally with her. He doesn't even bring up the topic of his proposal. Though he is hurt and humiliated, he does not show it, and he's still out to win the heart of Miss Elizabeth Bennet. So, and he also invites her to meet his sister, Miss Darcy, or Miss Gregorian Darcy. What was her name here? Georgiana Darcy. So he invites her to meet his younger sister, So, and then Elizabeth receives a letter from home stating that Lydia has eloped with Wickham. So, so when she receives this letter, she's actually heartbroken because she's worried about her family's pride. So the family's pride back in those days was very important, because you cannot attend a social event after losing your respect, because the society is all out to make fun of you. So when she learns that Lydia has actually eloped, she wonders why her younger sister has not paid any attention, or she doesn't even care about her own family's respect. So during this time, she also receives a letter. The Bennets received a letter from Mr. Collins mocking them. So he actually mocks the upbringing of the daughters. He says that one is all rude to others, and and refuses the proposals given to her, whereas the other is actually eloped. This one actually hurts the feelings of Mr. and Mrs. Bennet. So she immediately leaves Pemberley and arrives home. So what happens next, I'll tell you guys in the next lesson. Bye bye.